Hi there, everyone. Here's some of what's heading your way tonight. Your news at 9.
As more and more people get vaccinated, the question of what's next comes up. When can we get back to normal? I'm Chris Warner. We'll speak with some local health officials on what normal may look like and what it'll take to get there.
Plus, Missouri American Water responding to an organization's claims about a newly planned reservoir in the area.
Gunman opens fire at a grocery store in Boulder, Colorado. I'm Hunter Davis with the latest on the shooting, up next.
Doug Heddy is weather. Jacob Leonard has sports. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jordan Abbey. As more people getting vaccinated and COVID-19 numbers continue to trend downward, some are wondering, when is everything going to get back to normal? KOAM's Chris Warner spoke with local health officials to find out when they think it will get back to normal and what's it going to take to get there.
Newton County Health Department Administrator Larry Bergner says things are looking promising in Newton County. The number of active cases February 3rd in the county was 497. He says that number dropped to 43 by March 21st. Additionally, Bergner says 11% of the population in Newton County has received at least one dose of the COVID vaccine, but he still wants people to be cautious.
Certainly there's still danger there. I mean, we don't want people to get lax in the guidelines and wearing the mask and social distancing.
Bergner says they're working to get as much of the population vaccinated as they can.
We're hoping that we can have the population vaccinated, and at that point, I think we can go to a kind of a norm that we're used to.
But that's where questions come in. Mercy's infectious disease preventionist Donna Stokes says when it comes to getting back to normal, it will take herd immunity.
We don't know what percentage of the population will have herd immunity before we start seeing this really slow down or come to, a standstill. So our goal is to achieve as much immunity as we can, either by those who have already had illness or those who haven't becoming vaccinated, so that the virus really doesn't have a host to infect and mutate in.
Bergner is remaining cautiously optimistic, but is hopeful for the future.
I'm hopeful that we can return to the normal we knew in February of 2020. I would kind of hate to see that we would be bound by some of the criteria that we have grown accustomed to, the wearing the mask. I would hate that would be a forever situation.
Bergner says we could see that by late summer or fall. But with masks being effective for the coronavirus, Bergner says they may still pop up in the future.
There may be businesses that say, well, if you enter my business during the flu season, then I want you to wear the mask. So we may see some of those carry over.
In Newton County, Chris Warner, KOAM News.
Both Bergner and Stokes say current guidance is to have from 70 to 90% herd immunity, but they remind everyone things can still definitely change. Larry Bergner also shared with us today he's been invited to Jefferson City for a proclamation recognizing him and the county for leading the way getting students back to school. Back in September, Bergner and the Newton County Board of Health changed the close contact requirement for students. It caused some pushback from the state level, but was ultimately adopted statewide in November. State of Missouri is transferring $300 million in federal coronavirus relief funds to the state's unemployment insurance trust fund. The trust fund, which the state's workers draw unemployment benefits from, is funded by Missouri businesses. Governor Mike Parson says the transfer is going to prevent an increase in contribution tax rates for businesses. The U.S. could be getting a new vaccine soon, while public health officials warn of a possible new COVID-19 surge coming, which they're blaming on the fast-spreading viral strains. Fox News correspondent Jonathan Siri has more now from Atlanta.
A fourth vaccine could be hitting the U.S. in the coming weeks. AstraZeneca releasing data from its phase 3 trial in the U.S. showing its candidate prevented symptomatic infection about 79% of the time. And it was 100% effective in preventing hospitalizations and deaths. And it's the first large-scale trial conducted while the COVID-19 variants were circulating in the U.S.
Today's results also confirm the vaccine's favorable reactogenicity, the reactions that occur soon after vaccination, and the overall safety profile of the vaccine.
We're now vaccinating about 2.5 million people every day, but the 7-day average of new cases ticked up slightly to 53,000. Health officials say it's the result of at least 3 quickly spreading COVID-19 variants, and we could be on the verge of another spike in cases and hospitalizations.
The continued relaxation of prevention measures, while concerning variants are spreading rapidly throughout the United States, is a serious threat.
The crowd is amazing. We're having a blast.
Officials are also voicing major concerns about spring break in hotspots like Florida and California. Police in Miami Beach have made over 1,000 arrests for violations of COVID emergency rules. There's now an 8 p.m. curfew in effect through April 12, following days of unruly crowds.
At night, there is no question that it becomes a place that feels a little bit out of control or a lot out of control.
AstraZeneca says they have 30 million doses ready for delivery in the U.S. once they receive FDA approval. In Atlanta, Jonathan Seri, Fox News.
Doug Eddy joining us now with the first look at the forecast. Temperatures were good today, not much sunshine though.
No, the clouds really thickened up, especially as we went into the afternoon hours, but we still went into the mid-60s for a high. 65 was our high. We started at 51 during the morning hours, but these clouds eventually are going to lead to some rain. We've had some very light sprinkles out there, but you can really see the rain picking up on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side. This whole storm system heading toward us during the overnight hours for us tonight. So we're going to have pockets of showers, even a few thunder showers. Does not look like anything too strong or severe, but we could see some heavier amounts of rain across the region. Where you see the yellows, that's where the rain is really starting to increase. That is a moderate rain, which is heading toward us, and this is going to continue as we go into the overnight hours, really picking up over the next few hours. Of course, we're going to break down the entire work week for you here in just a bit.
Doug, thank you. See you then. Parsons, Kansas man is dead after a crash in rural Labette County. Highway Patrol says it happened Friday morning at 9000 and Innes Road. 25-year-old Xavier Cummings was passing another vehicle at a high rate of speed when he lost control of his car. Cummings was pronounced dead at the scene. Joplin area will be getting a reservoir to address its water supply shortage. KOM's Bronte Sorotsky has more on this, as well as reactions to this project.
In order to address a growing water supply shortage in the Joplin area, Missouri American Water in Joplin is building a reservoir. But not everyone thinks this is the best way to address the situation. Tom Ailey with the Ozark Underground Laboratory, a contract research and studies firm specializing in water-related issues, says after conducting a study, the reservoir won't function properly.
It will not hold water. The leakage rate is very substantial. It's tens of millions of gallons per day. It's a major leak.
Christy Barnhart with the Missouri Water Company says they're getting ready to begin their testing phase to make sure the land can hold the reservoir.
And what we're doing right now is entering the phase where we are asking to gain access to property, where we will be doing the soil and the geotechnical aspect of where we'll be seeing that conditions will be right for a reservoir.
But to do this testing, they will need to use the land they obtained from landowners. Dawn Newland, president and founder of Trinity Circle Horses Healing Hearts, says she had to move her property early in order to give them access for the testing. She runs a horse ranch with a primary focus of helping veterans with PTSD heal, and says the testing would ruin the healing environment.
Not to mention our veterans and our horses are not used to banging, clanging, drilling, large pieces of equipment. The entire peaceful atmosphere that we have out there will be gone.
When we reached out to the Missouri Water Company for their response, they sent this statement. On February 23, 2021, Dawn Newland granted a temporary easement over her property to Missouri American Water Company for the purpose of conducting geotechnical and environmental testing and inspection as may be necessary in the process of obtaining permits and regulatory approval for the construction of the Missouri American Water Reservoir project. In Joplin and Neosho, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
Full statement from Missouri American Water can be found on our website. Crawford County residents will soon have the option of texting emergencies to 911. The City of Pittsburgh, Crawford County partnered to purchase a new state-of-the-art emergency call management system. Officials say Dispatchers will also have an easier time locating mobile phone calls. It also sets the county up for an easier time upgrading the system down the road.
It's a way of getting a very specific thought or need out to the dispatchers in a very concrete, concise way. So we think it's an efficient way of doing things. We feel that the public is safer because of that, because we're offering this option. And because of that, I think everybody is very happy to see that feature.
County and city used state funds to buy the new equipment. Former Missouri Governor Eric Greitens announced he is running for the U.S. Senate in Missouri. The seat is currently held by Roy Blunt, who announced he will not seek re-election. Greitens resigned, as many of us remember, as governor back in 2018 after allegations of inappropriate conduct toward a woman in 2015 and alleged campaign violations. Tragedy unfolding at a Boulder, Colorado grocery store this afternoon. A gunman opened fire, killing several people, including one police officer. Fox News multimedia reporter Hunter Davis has this story.
A chaotic scene as dozens of law enforcement officials, including a SWAT team, responded to reports of an active shooter at a grocery store in Boulder, Colorado, Monday afternoon.
There was loss of life. We have multiple people who were killed in this incident. And I am sorry to have to report that one of them was a Boulder police officer.
The suspect reportedly firing several shots.
All of a sudden we heard in succession, boom, 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 and then by the third one we're like, gotta get out of here.
Witnesses say a man wearing tactical gear carrying an AR-15 style weapon with dark hair and a beard opened fire outside of King Soopers, prompting customers and employees inside the grocery store to take cover as the gunshots continued.
There is no ongoing public threat, that we do have a person of interest in custody.
At one point, cameras captured police escorting a shirtless, shoeless man in handcuffs with a bloody leg across the parking lot. His involvement is not clear at this point. Authorities escorted the man to an ambulance, which left the scene for a nearby hospital minutes later. And witnesses say he was not the only person to sustain injuries.
I saw some victims on the ground as I came around the corner, so I knew what was happening.
Police say the investigation remains active, with the ATF joining the effort. Hunter Davis, Fox News.
KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time now to honor one of our four-state heroes. Terry Bush served in the U.S. Army from 1974 to 78. Native of Fredonia, Kansas, Bush was stationed in Germany, earning several awards. We are proud to thank Terry Bush, tonight's four-state hero. Doug Heddy's up next with a complete look at the forecast. A bit later, big come-behind win for Webb City baseball. Going to have those highlights in sports.
Well, we definitely had a cloudier day for us today after we saw pretty good conditions over the weekend. Really, the past several weeks have been very nice across most of the four-state area. If we look back at March so far, you can see majority of the days, unlike February, but majority of the days have been at or above our average high for this time of the year. We did that again today, even though we had the clouds, but at least we had a great weekend, almost 70 degrees for us during the daytime hours yesterday. It looks pretty good. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Temperature's still not that bad. Most of us are sitting upper 50s to near 60 degrees. However, we are seeing the rain really starting to increase over the past couple hours. South winds at about 15 to 25. It's going to stay windy tonight. It's going to stay windy once again for us tomorrow. And then by Wednesday, the winds will start to die off just a little bit. But look at the rain increasing. So far, most of us have just kind of had light little sprinkles. But the rain is really increasing out to our west across Kansas, Oklahoma, as this storm system heads toward us. You can see the little twist out across the panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas. That's the main upper level low that is going to roll through as we go through the overnight hours tonight. And of course, give us moderate, if not heavy amounts of rain at times. Looking at the radar right now, we just have light showers and light drizzle, mainly across southwestern parts of Missouri and a few little sprinkles. But look how the rain really increases once you get into southeastern Kansas, especially northeastern parts of Oklahoma. When you head down to Interstate 44 toward Tulsa, the rain is becoming much heavier. There is a very light band of showers across Cherokee County, Ottawa County, and then into western parts of Newton County. But besides that, most of us are just seeing light showers or a little bit of sprinkles out there. But look how the rain picks up throughout the overnight hours. Over the next couple hours, moderate to heavy rain. We get a break late tonight. Then as the upper level low rotates through, we'll see additional showers, maybe even a few thunder showers tomorrow morning. And then most of this will start to press off toward the east. Anything we see tonight, it shouldn't be too strong or severe, but we could see some pockets of heavy amounts of rain. But you can see most of this rain is out of here by the time we head into tomorrow night. Then heading into Wednesday morning, we'll still have a lot of clouds across the region, but Wednesday in general, I think is going to be a pretty good day. Wednesday night, we'll start to see the rain increasing again. Periods of showers, maybe a few thunderstorms into Thursday morning, and then it's going to press on by. So a couple storm systems we need to watch over the next couple days. Showers, thunderstorms tonight, mainly into tomorrow morning. Wednesday looks good, and then another round of rain by the time we head into Wednesday night and Thursday. So rainfall amounts just over the next couple days with these next couple systems. I think most of us are going to be in that ½ inch to about an inch range, which we don't need any more rain. It's been fairly wet around here over the past couple weeks.
Yeah, as you were saying though, tonight nothing severe, which is good.
Yeah, always good news.
Doug Eddy, thank you. See you in a little bit. Coming up, 1 week away from opening statements.
George Floyd's death here in Minneapolis caused protests and riots around the globe. Now we are inching closer to a jury being seated and opening arguments. I'm Matt Finn in Minneapolis.
George Floyd's murder trial is inching closer to getting a jury, but there's still concern over how news of a $27 million settlement could impact jurors. Fox News correspondent Matt Finn has more.
Opening statements are 1 week away in the trial of Derek Chauvin, the former Minneapolis police officer accused of killing George Floyd. Today, jury selection entered its third week.
Have you, in any discussions with anyone in your immediate family, heard strong views expressed about this particular case?
Hennepin County Judge Peter Cahill has asked for 15 jurors. 12 will deliberate and the other 3 will serve as alternatives. Attorneys for both sides have spent the last few weeks questioning prospective jurors about their views on racism and decision-making.
Are you the type of person that will dig your heels in and refuse to change your opinion, or are you going to listen to the other jurors?
On Friday, Judge Cahill rejected a defense request to delay or move the trial. Defense attorneys raised the concerns that a $27 million settlement for George Floyd's family could taint the jury pool. Judge Cahill ended up dismissing 2 of the seated jurors who say they could no longer remain impartial because of that record payout. Cahill has insisted a delay would not help the issue of pretrial publicity.
I don't think there's any place in the state of Minnesota that has not been subjected to extreme amounts of publicity on this case.
Opening statements in the trial are expected to begin March 29. And here in Minneapolis, there is still lots of talk, especially among the legal community, about the timing of Minneapolis paying $27 million to George Floyd's family while jury selection was ongoing. Most of the potential jurors who were questioned say they heard about that $27 million settlement. In Minneapolis, Matt Finn, Fox News.
Just ahead, another state of Washington, D.C. debate.
Will Washington, D.C. become our nation's 51st state? I'm Ray Bogan with a look at the debate coming up.
Will Washington, D.C. become its own state? Today, lawmakers on Capitol Hill heard testimony from those supporting the idea, but Republicans aren't on board. Fox News correspondent Ray Bogan has more on why and what's being debated.
Will the American flag soon get a 51st star? It's a question lawmakers in Washington are debating.
We are here to demand that the 220-year history of us not being represented in the capital of our country be corrected.
If passed, H.R. 51 would make Washington, D.C. the nation's 51st state, to be called the Washington-Douglas Commonwealth, in honor of abolitionist Frederick Douglass. The bill would also reduce the size of the federal government's district. Advocates say D.C. residents pay their taxes but have no voting rights in Congress and limited local government control. Republicans say Democrats are politically motivated and that D.C. statehood would likely add 2 more Democratic senators and 1 more Democratic representative to Congress.
D.C. statehood is a key part of the radical leftist agenda to reshape America, along with the Green New Deal, defunding the police, and packing the U.S. Supreme Court.
The sad truth is that most of my Republican colleagues oppose D.C.'s statehood simply because they believe it would dilute their power.
Right now, the biggest hurdle for statehood is in the Senate, where the chamber's filibuster requires the support of 60 senators.
If they get rid of the filibuster, they would only need 50 votes, and then they would only need 50 votes to pass everything in their agenda.
Mayor Bowser is calling on lawmakers to put a statehood bill on President Biden's desk within his first 100 days, ending late next month. Ray Bogan, Fox News.
When it comes to a good memory, scientists say old school, beating all that new technology. Gonna learn more. Why? When we come back. Something you will not want to forget. A new study published in the Frontiers in Behavioral Neuroscience on Friday says writing things down with pen and paper is more beneficial to your memory than using a smart device. A neuroscientist from the University of Tokyo who authored the study says paper contains more, quote, one-of-a-kind information for a stronger memory recall. Here's how it went down. About 50 people were enlisted in a study that broke them into 3 groups: smartphone users, tablet users, and analog note takers. When asked later about information they noted, data showed those who manually wrote the notes had a better recollection of them than the other groups. There's still a place, though, for smart devices like iPads, iPhones. Thank gosh for calendars to remember things like wedding anniversary, which I never forget. When I get a reminder, I'm like, come on, man, I already knew about that date. 30 more minutes, news, weather, and sports coming your way. Kansas lawmakers hold hearings about wind farm regulations after the release of a new study.
Protests continue following the deadly massage parlor shootings in Georgia. I'm Ashley Strohmeyer with more on what gun control advocates say could be done to help prevent violence like this in the future.
Headwinds and tailwinds, both sides pushing hard in a debate over Kansas wind farms. Researchers released a new study, and lawmakers hold hearings regarding proposals to add new regulations for the wind farm industry. KOAM's Zach Dodge has details.
More than $1.6 billion in revenue for counties and landowners, and more than 22,000 upfront and ongoing jobs. Those are 2 of the biggest findings from a study on the economic impacts of wind energy in Kansas in 2020 that was just released. The study was done by law firm Polsinelli, which, according to press releases and their website, does represent wind energy companies. The report was also released just hours before a hearing in Topeka for proposed legislation that would regulate the wind industry in the state.
Counties need help in navigating wind energy development.
Senate Bill 279 in its current state would regulate setback distances, noise levels, and how a contract between a wind farm developer, landowners, and counties could happen. The bill is currently being considered by the Senate Utilities Committee, with supporters of the bill from all over Kansas speaking in person. Ann Dare lives in Bourbon County, where a wind farm is currently under construction. She hopes it passes so that other counties have a roadmap in the future.
This is not saying you cannot come to Kansas ever anywhere. This is just saying we've got some rules that you need to follow. And so yes, I hope with everything that's within me that it passes.
Zach Dodge, KOAM News.
Another committee hearing in Topeka is scheduled for tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. where committee members expect to hear from those in opposition to the bill. You can find a link to the full economic impact study on our website. See it right there, KOAMnewsnow.com. So spring break is coming up over at Pitt State, and already there are lots of fun things going on to send students off. City, Pittsburgh Area Chamber of Commerce, Pitt State, and Crawford County Convention and Visitors Bureau is hosting a week-long Pittcation. Scheduled events include a guided bike ride, pickleball, yoga in the park, disc golf, and a free visit to Big Brutus. A mega merger is on the track in the railroad industry. Canadian Pacific is buying Kansas City Southern in a deal estimated at around $29 billion. The company is going to be known as Canadian Pacific Kansas City after the merger. It's going to be the first railroad connecting the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. For countless members of the Asian community, the pain is still fresh after the deadly attacks at 3 massage parlors in Georgia. While across the country, people are joining together to send a message that hate will not be tolerated. Fox News correspondent Ashley Strohmeyer has more on their pleas for peace and what lawmakers say could be done to prevent any more senseless violence.
We must stand together as a human race.
From coast to coast, thousands of people continue taking to the streets, denouncing hate and calling for tighter gun laws. This following the deadly shootings at 3 massage parlors in Georgia.
No, enough is enough. I cannot stand by and watch another grandpa, grandma be just pushed over with violence and killed and murdered.
Police say 21-year-old Robert Aaron Long admitted to the shootings that left 8 people dead, including 6 women of Asian descent.
These women were someone's mom, someone's daughter, someone's sister.
This new security camera footage captures the moment Long entered the first scene. His hand appears to hold onto something in his back pocket. Not long before this, Long had bought a firearm. A lawyer for the gun store says the shop appears to have followed all appropriate protocols. The shootings have prompted new calls for waiting periods before a weapon can be used after purchase. And Democratic leaders in Georgia are expected to propose a law mandating a 5-day waiting period. According to Giffords Law Center, requiring an individual to wait even a few days can reduce homicide rates by 17%. Although police claim the shooter's motives were not driven by race, protesters across the country see how the attacks are aligning with the dramatic increase in hate crimes targeting the Asian community. Ashley Strohmeyer, Fox News.
A bit later, a new study showing many states that rushed to offer vaccines to larger groups of people actually ended up serving a small percentage of their population.
Well, it turned out to be a decent Monday for us today. A lot of clouds, especially during the afternoon hours as our next storm system is rolling in, but temperatures pretty good as we did go up to 65 for us today, and really the entire month has been, in general, fairly good, a lot better than what we had in the month of February. But you can see majority of our days have been above average, and we're going to cool off a little bit over the next couple days, but in general, it still looks pretty good as we work through this week. It looks okay right now. Great time lapse. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course. Indigo just outside Seneca, Missouri. But you can see those clouds thickening up throughout the afternoon. And now we're starting to get some rain across the region from those clouds, and that's going to continue throughout the overnight hours tonight. But temperature is not too bad. Most of us upper 50s to near 60 degrees. Kind of windy. We've had these south winds all day long at about 15 to 25, gusts higher than that. It's going to stay breezy tonight, south winds at about 10 to 20. As this storm system continues to roll in, you can see the rain starting to pick up. Now, most of us, it's fairly light, but once you get into our southwestern counties, that's where the rain is starting to pick up just a little bit. You can see the spin out across the panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas. That's the upper level low that is going to rotate through tomorrow morning. So until that passes by, we're going to have these chances for showers, even a few random little thunderstorms. Nothing strong, nothing severe. As of right now, very light showers across the region, but you can see the rain picking back up, especially in our western counties. Most of the rain on the Missouri and Arkansas side is fairly light, but once you get out toward Independence, Bartlesville, down toward Tulsa, it's actually pretty heavy at this time. Zooming in, very light band of light showers working through Pittsburgh, Miami, Joplin, Carthage, Neosho. All these are lifting off toward the north and to the east. But rain for us tonight, maybe a few rumbles of thunder. We'll see this first heaviest batch roll by here in about the next 4 or 5 hours. After that, the upper level system is going to push in. So these are going to be more scattered showers, a few rumbles of thunder as we go through tomorrow morning. And then I think most of the rain is going to be out of here by tomorrow afternoon. We could still see a few random showers, but the heaviest is going to be out of here. So here's 5 p.m. You can still see a few random showers. I don't think we're going to warm up much, maybe mid-50s for highs. We're just not going to go anywhere throughout the daytime hours. As we go into tomorrow night, the clouds will break up a little bit. We'll have partly cloudy skies and then mostly cloudy skies again by Wednesday. But most of Wednesday looks pretty good. Even though we're going to have a lot of clouds, I think our temperatures are going to shoot right around 60 degrees. Then our next storm system rolls in, more showers, more thunderstorms roll in by the time we head into Wednesday night and Thursday morning. 53 tomorrow, 61 Wednesday, 55 on Thursday, back to 70 by Saturday.
How's KU doing, man?
Yeah, they're not looking good, man.
Really? Hey, you never know. You never know. This has been a strange year it's been a strange year for March Madness. All right, Doug Heddy, thanks so much, man. Coming up in sports, the former Joplin football standout has a career day in his first start for South Dakota State. Plus, all district honors for Missouri Southern's Cam Martin. Jacob Leonard joins us with details next.
The Webb City Cardinals opened up the baseball season over the weekend with a 7-6 win over Logan Rogersville. Now today, Webb City remains at home, looking for a 2-0 start against Republic. Now it was the Tigers dominating the early part of the game today. First inning, Riker Harrington really got a hold of this one, man. Clears the fence out and right for the 2-run homer. Republic, it's the first 2 of the day. Bottom half, Webb City gets one back. Shane Knoll back up the middle. Devin Weathers trots in, but the Cardinals down 7-1 going to the bottom of the 4th. That's when they really got going. Eli Goddard sits on the off-speed pitch, sends it to the grass to score Cole Gaiman. Moments later, Devin Weathers up with 2 guys on. Laser to center. That scores both of them. Webb City gets 4 in the inning to pull within 2. Then in the 5th, they did even more damage. Tragan Parker caps off a 6-run inning for the Cards. Gets the homer to right, his first of the season. Webb City rallies from down 6 to win it 11-8. Cardinals now 2-0 to start the season. Missouri Southern softball in action today at home with a doubleheader against third-ranked Augustana. Now the Lions get shut out in Game 1, 8-0. Game 2 they got on the board but not able to get in front, falling 11-3. Next up for Southern, they host Pittsburgh State on Friday. The Oklahoma Sooners knocked off Mizzou over the weekend 72-68 in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Now, today, the Sooners are back on the floor against Gonzaga with a chance to move on to the Sweet 16. Gonzaga, number 1 overall seed in this year's tournament. It was a good start for OU. Emoja Gibson gets the 3. It's 12-4 Sooners. But other end, here come the Zags. Drew Timme gets the lay-in, makes it a 1-point game. Corey Kispert knocks down the 3. Oklahoma down 12 at the break. Gonzaga ran away with it after that. Early second half, Kispert another 3. Oklahoma's season ends in round 2, falling to Gonzaga 87-71.
They're good. They just keep the pressure on you. They keep coming at you, and if you turn it over, carelessly, or if you take a shot that's leads into transition for them, then they make you pay for it. That happened a couple of times, and again we ended up fighting from behind.
Missouri Southern's Cam Martin earns first-team All-District recognition today from the NABC. It's the 3rd straight season he's earned All-District honors. Martin averaged 25 points and 9 rebounds per game for the Lions this season, while also dishing out a team-high 76 assists. Check it out. He's one of only 5 active players in all of college basketball right now, with at least 2,000 points and 800 rebounds. Former Joplin High School running back Isaiah Davis is already making a name for himself at the Division I level. Davis is a freshman at South Dakota State. He got his first start on Saturday against Southern Illinois, and look at this. The former Eagle carried it 22 times for 150 yards, 3 touchdowns. For his big game, he was named the Missouri Valley Conference Newcomer of the Week. It's his second 100-yard game of the year. And that's a look at sports. We're back with more news right after this.
Rushing out the COVID-19 vaccine may have been the wrong approach. In some states, anyway, the Associated Press has found states that had a quick rollout with large amounts of eligibility ultimately ended up vaccinating less people than states that took a slower, smaller approach. Fox's Chris DeMeo explains.
I feel better. I feel safe. Now that I've had it.
When it comes to vaccinating people against COVID-19, a slower approach may prove more effective, according to the Associated Press. Officials analyzed vaccine data from several states, including Florida, Missouri, and South Carolina, where local leaders have made a larger percentage of the population eligible for the shots. Meanwhile, states like Connecticut, Hawaii, and Alaska were slower to extend eligibility to different age groups. But the AP says states that offered shots to limited groups wound up vaccinating more people. Officials say rushing to get everyone vaccinated overwhelmed healthcare systems and inundated supplies, causing appointment websites to crash and creating chaotic scenes at vaccination sites.
I've been waiting for over a month, every week, to no resolve.
But not everyone is happy with the slower rollout process, citing limited appointment availability.
I'm on Publix, Walgreens, Kroger, CVS, 3 times a week, 6:30 in the morning, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's the time I'm supposed to go. And everything come back. We're fully booked.
President Biden has asked every state to make every adult eligible for a vaccine by May 1st. Experts hope this report will serve as a cautionary tale that sometimes slow and steady wins the race. Chris DeMeo, Fox News.
Another week, another look at some entertainment coming your way this week on Fox when we come back. This week on Fox, find a couple of big finales. Plus, the game-changing season of The Masked Singer has another twist in store. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin.
The mask competition goes wild this week. Here's what's hot on Fox.
Come on, Jim, hang in there.
First on Monday, it's a 911 replay of how Chimney started in the 118.
We need your tip.
That's followed by the America's Most Wanted reboot, hosted by Elizabeth Vargas, and 3 more cases to solve along with viewers' help.
It's demolition day.
Tuesday brings 2 new hours of Holmes Family Effect, with celebrity contractor Mike Holmes, his daughter Sherry, and son Michael, rebuilding spaces for people making a difference in their communities. Wednesday, Group A returns to the Masked Singer stage, and the show's first ever wildcard character makes their debut. Then it's Game of Talents, hosted by Wayne Brady, with more mystery performers bringing amazing hidden talents and contestants figuring out those skills for the chance of winning big bucks.
Oh my God.
Thursday, there are only 6 chefs left on the Las Vegas set 19th season of Hell's Kitchen.
Do I look calm?
Call Me Kat holds a Cativersary on the season finale of the Mayim Bialik-led comedy.
It's the coolest thing that's ever happened.
And Kristen is in charge of Outdoor Man on a new episode of Last Man Standing. Fox Sports presents WWE Friday Night SmackDown delivers the action to round out the week. And on Sunday Funday, find the season finale of the Jason Biggs hosted game show Cherries Wild. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. Going to leave you with a volcano erupting in Iceland. Be safe. Do this all again tomorrow. See you then.